Dr. Yvette Harris, what is happening? How you doing today?
I am absolutely wonderful. And this one, when I tell you my favorite songs, I am not exaggerating. It is like number one on my playlist. So thank you.
You are very welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another session of our Parent Summit 2020 Virtual Parent Summit, as we call it this year. And I have the honor today of being your host. My name is Mars Cerna, San Bernardino County Superintendent of Schools. And I get to have a conversation today with Dr. Yvette Harris, who is a subject matter expert around a variety of themes in education. And so today, we have the honor of having her here to talk to us about how to arrange study areas. And so welcome, Dr. Yvette Harris. Thank you for being here today.
Good to be back. Thank you.
Yes, yes. So a few days ago, we had a conversation around an educational theme, and it got into the topic of setting up workspaces for kids. And I thought, you know what, we need to bring you back because this is really a topic in itself. And so can you explain to us, Dr. Harris, why is it so necessary for our kids right now that are doing distance learning to have a study area?
Well, let's just think about it. Parents are now working from home. And moms, dads, guardians, you have that designated place, some of you before COVID, that when you went into that office, when you sat down at that table, your mind, your body, your belongings, everything that you needed was in that designated place. And that's the place that you were able to be productive and most effective for your workplace. Well, it is the same for our children. While our children were used to going inside the building, they knew where their classroom was. And for those, especially middle high school, when they rotate classes, they know when they walk into the science classroom, into the math classroom, into the English classroom, that is the subject that they are there to learn. Now, I'm not expecting you to have different rooms in your house for every subject, but they need to have a designated place in the home to learn that is not their bed.
And why do you say not their bed? I'm curious to know, because we had this conversation before, and I want parents to understand why not the bed.
Well, let's just look at a bed. A bed is a soft place. A bed is a comfortable place. It is a place of relaxation. And yes, we want our children to be relaxed when they study, but we also want them to be alert. When we lay down or sit on our beds, we just, and we're calm, and we're not in a place of learning. We're in a place of either ready to go to sleep or sitting on the side of the bed, preparing to get ready for the day, putting on socks, putting on lotion, whatever we're doing. But it is not a place for, let's just take our posture. There's no place where we can sit correctly, upright in a chair on a bed. It's just not possible. And so when we sit on that bed, eventually the child or even an adult, I don't know about you, but I sit on the side of the bed for more than a few minutes. Next thing I know, I'm laying back. And yes, I'm watching the television, but a few minutes later, I'm out. The child is going to fall asleep. And so studying is not going to take place. So that's why the bed is just not the right place for studying and getting work done.
Thank you for reminding our audience about that. Yeah, you're right. If I sit on that side of the bed and I lay back, I'm out. I'm done.
Exactly.
The day's over. So thank you for that. So, when we set up these workstations for our kids, I think sometimes parents feel like this is going to be very cost prohibitive. And so can you talk to us a little bit about what that cost could be, how to keep it low so that, it doesn't break our budgets?
Absolutely. What's in your hand? What's in your home? What do you have? There are extra school supplies laying around somewhere. You have things in your home that you can take and create that study area. if you don't have a full-on desk, it can be that child's seat at the table. It can, a TV tray or something that gives them a place. And then when you talk about supplies, if you want to go to Amazon or Lakeshore or somewhere and buy some things, then by all means. But for those that don't want to, or with the cost of, look, I don't know about you, but every time I go food shopping, it's ridiculous. I tried to buy some Lysol on Amazon, and it was $112 for 12 cans of Lysol. And I'm like, really? $10 a can? It's not that serious. So, we've got to be very wise with our finances right now. And so buying those extra supplies might not be feasible. But if let's say some magazines, and you make some boards around learning, take some pictures, put them on the poster board. This is also an opportunity to get your children involved, finding things around your house to decorate that area, to make it look like that classroom, that place of learning. And if you have to take the stuff down and put it up every day, then you can do that. But for now, I say just leave it up. So, get that space, have the supplies ready. We should not be scrambling for pens and pencils every day. If you want to have that backpack with those supplies right in that study area, that way everything is organized and they can just reach in that backpack. The good thing about it is that the pencils don't get eaten up by the school monster. So they actually come home every day. So, put those supplies in a backpack just as if your child is going to school. Have that area with those books and those different things in there, right in that area where they're studying. And it doesn't have to take a lot of money. If you want to put some posters up or some things on the wall, get your child involved, look at what they're doing in their books and make those posters, make those signs, and put them up in that study area.
Yeah, thank you for that, Dr. Harris. And what I am finding too is many of our school districts throughout the county are providing opportunities for parents to go by and when they did the book pickups, but then they can go back into the office or contact the office and say, you know what, we're having some challenges with school supplies. Is there anything that you can help us with? And many of the schools already have care packs that the parents can come and pick up that allows the children to have the necessary needs for having that workspace, so it doesn't become so costly for them. So thank you for that.
Absolutely. So, that's it.
Yeah. So now, you think about kids. So I had one in elementary last year when COVID hit in March that, she was in elementary, my niece who we have at our home here. And then my other son, my son is in high school. But for elementary school parents, what should that space look like? Can you give us an idea of what, parents can do and how creative they can be with this?
Sure. So for our littles, that's the former principal and me, your home is going to be more of the space. So let's go back. When you brought that baby home from the hospital, that infant who laid in that bassinet took over the whole house without word or action, because everything for them was everywhere. Okay, you wanted to make sure you did not have to go upstairs or in the other room to find a diaper, to find some wipes. Everything needed to be handy. So when we think about our elementary school students, I think about stations. And what I mean by that is when our littles' attention span is, a little shorter. So you have a math station. That's the place where they are counting. So go and check out the linen closet. Let's take some blankets. We have those blankets we take to the beach, those blankets that we will sit outside, not the ones that may not be on the bed at different seasons. So different blankets, different towels in areas. So you have the math blanket or the math towel. You have the reading blanket or the reading towel. You have the PE blanket or the PE towel. Unfortunately, we're dealing with some fires right now. all across California. And we can't go outside as much because the air quality is not good, but our children still need to get exercise. So the counting towel, the gym towel, the reading towel, the math towel. So make those stations around your home that when your child goes to that different blanket or that different towel, that different area, that's where they know that it is time for that class. They can take the little iPad with them, the Chromebook with them, and they sit in that area and they do that class. Make stations.
Nice, very nice, good information for our parents. So then with elementary having the stations, what's different with our middle school kids? So talk to me a little bit about what middle school would look like.
So middle schoolers may not want to move around as much, especially if there's a sibling in the house that's in elementary school. I don't want to do that. That's for the little children. But it doesn't mean that they don't need a different scenery, so to speak. So they may only need 1 or 2 places to move around to, but they also need, again, this is where some of those things up on the wall to see those math problems, to see, how to create those essays, the different things that they're doing in school that are a bit more complex, and they have that visual on the wall or somewhere right where they're learning. So when they go to that class and the teacher's talking about it, they have a visual. So moms, dads, guardians, this is where you're going to want to ensure that you are communicating and checking on what your child is doing, because it could just be a matter of printing something out, or again, the schools can supply those things and you may be able to go up, once a week, once a month, pick up some things, bring it home and create those areas, because we're not going to call them stations because they're middle schoolers. So those are areas of study for our middle school children.
Thank you for that. Thank you so much. And so let's talk about like my sophomore kid. What would high school station look like?
So high school, whether they're preparing to go to college, trade school, something like that, this is the time where they need that. I'm in it for 55 minutes and then I need a little bit of a break. We talked about in the first video, especially about their eyes and having eye drops, but we want to make sure that they have that structured place that when they're there, they're taking their classes, but they get that rest period for their eyes, if for nothing else. They get that time to get up and they move around. So they may just be at that desk, but everything, again, those geometry formulas, those book reports, those things of that nature, we want to get the printers together, want to make sure there's ink if you have a printer at home, want to make sure that their supplies are there and on the ready for our high school students.
Thank you so much. Is there anything else that you could suggest or you could think of to help our parents with this distance learning stuff?
Absolutely. Not only the communication with the teachers, but especially at the high school level. Gotta communicate with the counselor. The counselor should be your best friend, mom, dad, guardian. The school counselor has got to be your best friend. If you have your child or children on that college track, then, even though things are changing and SATs, ACTs may not be happening, you're still going to need to apply to college. You're still going to need to apply for those opportunities, the military, trade schools, and those different things. So let your counselor be your friend. Send those emails. Make sure that you're keeping in touch with them, because life is still going to go on. And COVID is, while it's been around for a while, it may be around a little bit longer, at some point, things are going to fully open back up, and you don't want to have your child lose ground. So communication is key. Don't wait. Same thing as if we were in school pre-COVID. Don't wait till you get that progress report. Have a schedule where you're keeping in touch with that counselor about what is going on. That's huge.
Yeah, no, that's great advice. Just recently, we just completed our third week in the district that my children attend. And so what we did on Friday, and actually today a few teachers are starting to respond, is an email to say, hey, my name is Mars Cerna. I'm Isaac's daddy, and check this out. I didn't say daddy, but you know what I mean. I sent an email, and it wasn't about complaining or anything, just introducing myself, say it as an e-introduction. If there's anything I can do, here's my cell phone number. Please feel free to call or text. And that's helped tremendously. Like I said, a couple of teachers have already responded back saying, thank you for reaching out. And that opens up the lines of communication. I always say, don't wait for the school to communicate with you, because normally it's about something that's bad, like you said, a progress report, kids aren't doing well, and that's when you're first hearing about it. So stay active, stay engaged. Family engagement is just a little different now, right? We're doing it more virtually. We're doing it via email and our reminds and text messages. But at the end of the day, it's incumbent upon us as parents to keep those open lines of communication. So I appreciate you saying that and suggesting that.
No problem. When I I train parents, and one of the areas in which I train parents is communication with school and administrative staff. And if there's a good part for parents and guardians right now, is that they don't necessarily have to do that face-to-face. They can send that email. Please check the email before you hit the send button, because we don't necessarily want it to be angry, but you have that opportunity to send an email that can take a little bit of that, intimidation, fear, anxiety, whatever you want to call it, out of having to go to the school. Also, because you're not necessarily, again, you may be working from home, or, you're at home more often, and you can send that email even with your phone. You have that opportunity to put into words everything that you would want to say. We talked about family time in the first presentation, and I would definitely, questions that your child may have, questions that you may have on that Sunday in that family meeting, that's the time to ask those questions, and then go ahead, send it off to the teacher, send it off to the counselor. And as Mars, like you said, don't wait for the school to call you, you call the school. That's what school is still in session, and parents know this year grades are going to be sent just as if our children were face to face. And so you want us to stay on top of things now. You want to stay on top of things now, and you want to get on top of them early. If your child is struggling, if they have IEPs, 504s, need services, communicate with the school. Know that school administrators and district officials are doing all that they can to serve your children, but you also need to speak up and advocate for your child.
Thank you so much. And the last thing I want to say is, many of our schools are doing open houses right now, and they're all virtual. So make sure you log on. It is different. You're not walking around class to class or visiting that one elementary school classroom, but please stay engaged, stay connected, and visit those open houses that are coming up, through each school. Dr. Harris, I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for being such a great partner to not only me, but our San Bernardino County Superintendent of Schools office, our Family Engagement office. Anytime I've ever reached out to you, you've always been open, and I appreciate that so much.
And the thank you goes right back to you, Mars. I thank you for this opportunity, and hope that I am able to serve your parents well.
Yes, and so I have contact information for you. So as we get ready to close here, go ahead and let them know how they can connect with you, Dr. Harris.
So again, my website is the easiest place to contact me. EDR, the number 4, the letter U.com. You can go on there. You can schedule a time to speak with me. And I'm old fashioned. I'm all about a telephone. So 909-578-0970.
That's awesome. Thank you so much again. And, it's been an honor having you today. It's always fun having these conversations with you. And as we close, I want to make sure I got another closing song for you, because, I want you to be walking around here happy and going good with this stuff that we're doing. So I'm going to close you out with this. What you know about this?
The 70s. The 70s, a great decade. I love the Commodores with Lionel Richie. I love it. Love it.
That's right. Well, thank you so much again, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you've enjoyed this part of our session. Stay tuned the rest of the week at our Parent Summit, because we have a variety of other featured speakers that we're going to be bringing upon and keynote speakers. So again, thank you, everybody. Take care, and God bless everybody.
Bye-bye.